All right, let's talk about a question that probably keeps a lot of tech leaders up at night. What does a genuinely modern, deeply experienced technologist really look like? Today, we're going to build out a profile, almost like a case study, to see what it takes to connect the technology of the past with the absolute cutting edge of the future. So let's just jump right in. The big challenge for pretty much every company out there is this search for, well, for a unicorn. You've heard the term, right? That one developer who seems to have it all. But what does all even mean anymore? Well, here's the heart of it, right? Where on earth do you find an engineer who has, say, 25 years of real-world experience, but who is also building with the latest AI? You need someone who gets the old school, foundational stuff that companies still run on, but at the same time, they need to be fluent in the tech that's shaping tomorrow. Finding someone who lives in both those worlds, man, that is tough. And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's like two different planets. On one side, you've got the legacy enterprise systems. We're talking COBOL, mainframes, on-prem servers, the stuff that still, to this day, powers things like banking and global logistics. It's incredibly reliable, but it's a completely different way of thinking. And then on the other side, you've got the AI pipelines, Python, cloud-native designs, unstructured data, transformer models. It's a whole different language, a whole different philosophy. So you see the challenge. It's a massive gap. But what does someone who can actually bridge that gap look like? Well, let's stop talking in hypotheticals and look at a real-world example. We're going to dive into the profile of Jürgen Koprax, because his career is, frankly, a perfect roadmap for how you get from one of those worlds to the other. Okay, so let's start with the basics, the raw data, if you will. Born in '81, Austrian, fluent in both German and English. But the key number here? Professional experience since 2000. Now think about that for a second. That means his career started right around the dot-com bubble, and he's been professionally coding and building systems through the rise of Web 2.0, the smartphone explosion, and now right into the AI revolution. That's not just 2 decades. It's several eras of technology. All right, now we get to the really interesting part, the story. Because a career like this isn't just a list of jobs on a resume. It's a journey of constant evolution. We're going to trace the path from mainframes all the way to modern machine learning. Okay, just look at this timeline. This really is the whole narrative in one shot. Back in 2002, he's a software developer working with COBOL and Visual Basic. That's foundational enterprise stuff. Fast forward just 5 years, to 2007, and boom, he's a senior web developer, right in the thick of the Web 2.0 explosion with PHP and JavaScript. Then, by 2016, he's leveled up again to a senior IT consultant, architecting big solutions for major clients like T-Systems with .NET and Java. But here's the crucial leap. In 2020, as head of development, he starts bringing in machine learning. And that all leads to today, where he's a CTO founder building privacy-first AI solutions. You just don't see a career path that connects those dots very often. It's incredible. So that's the journey, right? An amazing evolution. But what about the tools? What does a technologist toolkit actually look like after a career like that? Let's break down the skills, because it's not just about the number of things he knows, it's about the depth in each area. First up, the core programming languages. And I mean, look at this list. This isn't someone who just learned the hot new thing. This is a history of modern computing. You've got COBOL from the mainframe world. You've got PHP, C#, Java, the languages that literally built the modern web and enterprise software. And then you have Python, the king of AI, and even Rust for that super high-performance safe code. It's like being fluent in Latin, English, and the language of the future, all at the same time. Now, let's talk AI and data. The keyword here is applied. This isn't about writing academic papers. This is about building real-world systems that do things. Speech processing, building smart agentic systems, orchestrating complex data pipelines. And check out that last point, on-premise and hybrid AI deployments. That is a huge deal. So many companies can't just throw their data into a public cloud. The ability to build powerful AI that runs on their own hardware, that's a game changer. And this slide, this is what separates a great programmer from a true architect. It's the strategic thinking. We're talking about designing entire systems from the ground up, whether they're in the cloud, on-premise, or a mix of both. It's about designing APIs, understanding enterprise-level security, and actually managing the whole process with certified skills in things like agile and requirements engineering. This is the big picture stuff. Okay, so we've seen the career, we've seen the incredible toolkit, but so what? Why does a profile like this actually matter in today's world? I think the answer is about something more than just tech skills. And it really all boils down to this philosophy right here in his own words. He says he supports organizations in the practical introduction of AI, implementation focused and human. And those last three words are everything. It's not about tech for tech's sake. It's about building things that work, that solve a problem, and that remember there's a person on the other end of the screen. You know, that human focus often comes from being, well, a well-rounded human. A person is more than just their job, right? Having interests outside of tech, basketball, cooking, music, getting out in nature, it gives you perspective. It helps you build things for people because you're connected to the world they actually live in. So when you put it all together, you realize these kinds of profiles, these people who have not just survived but thrived through multiple technological revolutions, they are the true unicorns. They don't just know how to build the shiny new thing, they deeply understand why the old systems were built the way they were, and, more importantly, how to connect them to the future. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What could you build, what problems could you solve if the person leading your tech truly understands both the past and the future?